How's it going, everybody? I am DJ Riley, one of the hosts from Boys on the Bench, and I am back with my top 4 NBA picks for today on these Monday matchups. Now, before we jump into this, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell because, guys, these videos are coming out every single day. So make sure you are following along, getting the best content that you can possible. Now, also, before we jump into this, we also have a links in the description. Down there, you will find a link to Daily Grind Fantasy, which is one of the best positive EV betting tools that you will use. And we will be using their optimizer tool all throughout this video. Now, you can also get 25% off of your first month using code if you click on that link. So make sure you're checking that out because I will, again, be showing you how to use positive EV on all of these bets today. Now, also down there is our historical data model that we've been using, which is by Props.Cash. That link is also down there in the description below, as well as our X profile, where all of these picks are posted 100% free, as well as some replacement bets. Now, if you don't want to click on our Twitter profile, check in the comments below as well, because I will be trying to get some replacement bets in there as well, just in case by the time you click on this video, these picks may not be available anymore. So I'll be doing my best to help you throughout today anyways. But let's go ahead and jump into today's picks that I have for you. So if we hop over here to PrizePicks, we can see my top 4 picks right here with Danny Avita going less than 27.5 points plus rebounds, Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds, Bradley Beal over 3.5 rebounds, and then Agbaji going under 19.5 rebounds, points plus rebounds plus assists. Now, if we hop over here to Daily Grind Fantasy, you can see right here, we're not getting a ton of value on today's picks. All of the books are sitting roughly the same, but that is likely to change all throughout the day. We go through waves of this, but I will show you what we're currently getting and the best value that we're getting as well. Now, Danny Avita was one of those picks that you see on that list here, going under 27.5, giving us our highest hit rate amongst the NBA. Again, they offer so many different lines and so many different sports. So we can see here that we're getting an average juice of minus 136. One book is in fact only offering this at that 27.5, which PrizePicks is as well, with 4 other books offering this at that 26.5, giving us essentially a 1-point edge on this play here. Now, if we hop over to Props.Cash to see what we're getting, we can see here that over his last 10 games, he's only hit this in 4 out of his last 10 games. Now, head-to-head, he has not faced the Chicago Bulls team head-to-head all year long. This season, all of his matchups were over the last 2 seasons. So really just kind of looking at his last 10 and what we're getting here. Points, Chicago is middle of the pack. Rebounds, they are also middle of the pack. So they aren't really too good, too great in either direction here. But what is important to notice is that his usage is likely to be pretty high because we can see that Washington, again, has a ton of injuries with Tyus Jones already ruled as out. Kyle Kuzma already ruled as out. And then Jordan Poole limited at a game time decision. But you can tell here that that's been for a couple games now here recently, and he's still averaging around that 35-minute mark. So it doesn't look like he's playing any more than that on a day-to-day basis. His field goal usage, we can see here that he's roughly sitting around that 14%. His average over his last 10 is 13.6. And again, he's only hit this in 4 out of his last 10. The one game that he did go over was versus that Toronto team, which gives up a lot of points and a lot of rebounds. And he had 19 field goal attempts in that game. So again, really like him to stay under that 27.5. All the other sports books, as I mentioned, are offering this at 26.5, other than that one book coming in at 27, indicating again that this is likely to go under for today. Now, hopping back over to PrizePicks, we can see that our next play here was that Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds. So if we hop back over here to Daily Grind Fantasy, we can see that Clint Capella play here over 9.5 rebounds. We have several books offering this, one book offering this even at 10.5, but most of the books are coming in here at that minus 125. Kind of this outlier play from Pinnacle at minus 161. So throwing this projection off just a little bit, but I still like all of these coming in at that minus 120, and a book even offering this at that 9.5. Now, hopping over here to Props.Cash, though, we can see here that Clint Capella, this play rebounds line is set at that 9.5 that we indicated. They have him coming in at 10.78, giving us roughly a 1.5 point edge. Now, the thing to mention here is that the Boston versus the center position allows the 4th least rebounds in all of the NBA. But if we go into here, we can see that a lot of their injuries, and both of these teams are both injury ridden, with Okongwu also being out in this game, leading to likely a little bit more minutes for Clint Capella. We very rarely see him going over that 26, 27 mark. Happens on a couple of occasions. His average is that 25.3, but his backup for today is listed as out. Now, the thing to note here is versus Boston, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown are all out today. And again, that likely impacts their ability to rebound, especially with Porzingis being out on the inside. Now, over his last 10, we can see that he's hit this line in 7 out of his last 10 head-to-head matchups. He's had only the one head-to-head matchup versus them this season, in which he only had 8 rebounds. If you look at his minutes of play, he had that 21. So again, I expect those minutes to play to go up today for him, especially with all of the injuries on both sides of the ball, leading to a likelier matchup for him today. So really love him to go over 9.5 rebounds for us. Now, going back over to PrizePicks, we can see our next play is Bradley Beal going over 3.5 rebounds. We hop back over to Daily Grind Fantasy. We can see here that our Bradley Beal play going over 3.5 rebounds is a 53.77% chance to hit. And we can see all of the books are offering this at 3.5, roughly all coming in at that minus 130, minus 140 with that average juice of minus 135. Now, if we hop over here to Props.Cash, we can see here that, again, they're offering this rebounding line at 3.5 for Bradley Beal, but where their projections are coming in at 3.83, giving us 0.33 projection difference. Now, the Spurs team versus the shooting guard position allow the 11th most rebounds to that position in all of the NBA. So if we dig a little bit deeper into here, their head-to-head matchup, he does have one head-to-head matchup this season. It was their most previous game. He only had the one rebound in that game. But if we look at his last 10, he's hit 6 out of his last 10 and even 8 out of his last 15, doing pretty well with his average being that 3.8 here as well. Now, the Spurs defense, again, not only do they allow a lot to the shooting guard position, but they allow a lot overall as a team, allowing the 4th most rebounds in all of the NBA. Now, again, if we go down here to the shooting guard position, we can filter this out. If we look at how they've done versus the shooting guard position, we can see that they're allowing quite a bit outside of that one game. They've allowed at least 4 rebounds to 1, 2, 3, 4 out of their last 6 shooting guards. And we can see here, again, he did not play his typical minute usage that he did versus the Spurs their last game. His average is sitting somewhere around that 35, 36 mark, but he only played that 28.4 minutes of play. Did only have that one rebound, but I expect more out of him today, hitting hopefully that 4 rebounding mark that we have. And again, we're getting really good odds from Daily Grind Fantasy. Now, hopping back over to PrizePicks, though, onto our last pick, Agbaji going under 19.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. So if we scroll down here, we can see that play is right here under 19.5, giving us a 53.2% chance of hitting. Every single other book is offering this at 18.5, except for PrizePicks coming in at 19.5, giving us that 1 point edge with a minus 134 juice, which is very good for us. Now, if we hop over to Props.Cash to see what we're getting there, we can see again he's only hit this line in 2 out of his last 10 games. As I mentioned earlier, though, this is a very injury-ridden team with Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett. All of these guys are going to be out for him, likely leading to a little bit more minutes than typical for him, but then also more opportunities at shooting the ball and everything else. But that has been the case for over a week now, and he's still only hit this line in 2 out of probably his last 5 without those guys in there. Points-wise, rebounds-wise, they are kind of middle of the pack here, along 14th and 20th least. Assists, they allow the 7th least to do very good. He's not a very high assist guy anyways, so really like him to go under 19.5, though. If we look at his field goal attempts and how he's done, potential assists, like I mentioned, though, we can see here again, this is a new feature that kind of Props.Cash has brought here recently within this last week, and it has been very helpful. So he doesn't have a ton of potential assists, likely leading to his 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 all over here on his assist numbers. His field goal opportunities, field goal attempts, we can see that he's been double digits kind of since all of these injuries have come around. But again, he's only hit it in 2 out of his last 5 versus Oklahoma City, and then Washington, a very bad defensive team and team all around, especially with all the injuries that they have. So anyways, though, these are my top picks that I have for you today. Let me know in the comments which ones you're tailing, which ones you're fading. Again, make sure you're also checking in with our X profile, also getting this Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer tool, because we didn't have necessarily the best value today at this time that I am filming this video, but that is likely to change, and I can guarantee you that as the day goes on. So make sure you're also checking the comments, check the X. All of the picks will be posted there, all of the replacement picks as well. Anyways, though, let's have a great day today, and I will see y'all tomorrow.